Imagine for a moment that everything you see and believe is just a reflection of a secret code, a hidden language older than humans, not made by us, but one that actually made us. That language is numbers, not the boring math numbers you learned in school, but living numbers, vibrations, forces, and divine patterns that shape your mind, body, and future. These numbers come from a secret library, and what you're about to hear has been hidden for thousands of years, shared only among a few, banned by schools, and covered up by fear. They say that in 1939, a Hungarian mathematician found a number pattern that could predict some of humanity's biggest events. Then, just 3 weeks later, he disappeared. His work was taken away, and his name wiped from history. Why? Because understanding numbers means touching the very code of reality itself. In this audiobook, you'll discover how this code shows up in Egyptian temples, in the secrets of Pythagoras, and in the energy ideas Tesla barely understood. Most importantly, you'll find the pattern that's been showing up in your life, the number that repeats itself, the one you don't quite get but can't ignore. It's not a coincidence. By the time you finish, you'll never look at numbers the same way again. Get ready, because the secret language of numbers starts now. Chapter 1. The Universal Code. There's knowledge that goes beyond time, culture, and civilization. It's been found over and over again by great minds throughout history. This knowledge starts with a simple truth. Numbers weren't invented by humans. They were discovered. We didn't make the idea of the number 3. We found it. It existed on its own, like a truth floating out there, waiting for us to see it. The first civilizations that started to understand this universal code didn't think about numbers like we do today. To them, numbers were living things, gods, each with their own personality and energy. In ancient Egypt, the priests guarded certain number proportions that they considered sacred. These weren't just pretty designs, they were formulas that connected the earthly world to the divine. Have you ever wondered why so many ancient buildings, from the pyramids in Egypt to temples in Mexico, use the golden ratio, also called phi, about 1.618? How did cultures that were oceans apart with no contact end up using the same special numbers? Most people say it's because those numbers just look beautiful, but there's another explanation kept in old Hermetic texts and Pythagorean traditions. These numbers are powerful points in the cosmic energy grid, places where universal energy flows stronger. Pythagoras, known mainly as a math guy, was actually the head of one of the most important mystery schools in ancient times. To join, students went through years of initiation before they could learn what numbers really mean. Everything is number, Pythagoras said, not as a metaphor, but as a fact. What few realize is that he didn't come up with these ideas on his own. He traveled through Egypt and Babylonia, learning their ancient number secrets. Some say he even went to India, where old Vedic texts had advanced number systems long before. But it was in Pythagoras' school that the idea really took hold. Every person has a unique number vibration that affects their destiny. This vibration isn't random, it's a special frequency in the cosmic symphony. And best of all, you can calculate it, understand it, and even work with it consciously. Calculating your personal number is pretty simple, but what it means is deep. At its core, you reduce your birth date down to a single digit. That's your main power number, your base frequency. But that's just the start. There's a whole complex map of interacting numbers beyond that. Here's a secret the Pythagoreans kept. There's a number-based ritual done at the right times that can boost your ability to make things happen in your life. I'll teach you that by the end of this audiobook, but first, you need to understand the basics of the universal code. One cool example of this knowledge in action is from the Renaissance. Leonardo da Vinci, who belonged to secret societies, put special number proportions in his art. His famous Vitruvian Man isn't just a drawing of human anatomy, it's a coded map of how the human body connects to the universe. People who get this image hold a key to changing their own reality. Nikola Tesla, maybe the most misunderstood scientist ever, was obsessed with the numbers 3, 6, and 9. If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, 9, you'd have the key to the universe, he said. Tesla wasn't joking. He found that certain number patterns match up with points of resonance in the universe's electromagnetic field. His most groundbreaking inventions came from this deep understanding of numbers behind reality. Why has this info stayed hidden? Because knowledge is power, and this knowledge gives huge power. Through history, people who understood the language of numbers have influenced events in ways that seem almost magical. Think about the Fibonacci sequence: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Each number is the sum of the 2 before it. This simple sequence shows up all over nature, in sunflower seeds, shell shapes, and rabbit populations. The big question isn't just how this pattern shows up, but why? Why does the universe seem to favor this specific sequence? The usual answer is that it's the most efficient way for things to grow. But efficient for what, and according to what plan? Some ancient texts suggest a deeper idea. The universe is basically math because it's pure information, expressing itself through vibrations. Numbers aren't just symbols we use to explain reality, they are reality at its core. Here's the first practical tip you can try right now. Pay attention to the numbers you keep seeing. If a certain number keeps showing up in your life, on clocks, license plates, important dates, it's not random. It's a kind of cosmic message meant just for you. When that happens, take a moment to pause and clear your mind. Picture that number in your head. Feel its energy. Then ask yourself quietly, what are you trying to tell me? The answer might not come right away, but you've opened a way to communicate. You've started to understand the universe's secret language. The ancient Kabbalists took this idea really far with something called gematria, a system that gives numbers to letters and words. To them, sacred texts weren't just stories or lessons. They were complex math codes that, when cracked, revealed secrets about how everything was created. What's amazing is that many different traditions, from Chinese numerology to Mayan systems and Hebrew gematria, ended up with very similar ideas. Certain numbers carry special qualities beyond just counting. Take the number 7. It's sacred in almost every spiritual tradition worldwide. Is that a coincidence? Or did these cultures all sense the same deeper truth? Here's a lesser-known story about John Dee, the astrologer for Queen Elizabeth I and one of the smartest men of his time. He created a math system to predict the future based on what he called numerical harmonies. His predictions were so accurate that the Queen always checked with him before making big decisions. But here's the catch. The detailed writings where Dee explained his method were erased from history. Only hints remain in old private letters. This kind of thing happens over and over. Whenever someone really starts to understand the universal code of numbers, their knowledge gets hidden, twisted, or dismissed as superstition. Why? Because this knowledge gives its holder a serious advantage. But now, things are changing. Hidden knowledge is coming into the light, and you, listening right now, are part of a growing awakening to the deeper side of numbers. Next, we'll dive into the first 9 basic numbers and what each one means, a kind of universal language of energy. You'll learn how to spot which numbers affect your personal energy and how to work with them to create real changes in your life. Before we move on, think about this. What number keeps popping up for you at important moments? Hold that number in your mind as we go forward. because just paying attention to a number starts to unlock its power in your energy. The universal code is waiting for you, and you've just taken your first step to understanding it. Chapter 2. The Primordial Numbers. Underneath all the universe's complexity, there's a simple foundation. The whole cosmos, every galaxy, every force, every hidden dimension can be understood through 9 basic numbers. These are the primordial numbers, from 1 to 9, like the main notes in the universe's symphony. In ancient Hermetic teachings, these numbers weren't just values. They were living beings, cosmic forces controlling different parts of reality. Each number has its own energy, personality, and role in the cosmos. Understanding these 9 gives you the master key to the universal code. Let's start with number 1. It's the creative force, the original spark, the source where everything begins. 1 stands for unity, the idea that all things come from one source. In mystical traditions, 1 is tied to pure will, leadership, and being yourself. When the energy of 1 is strong in you, it pushes you to stand out, to innovate, and to explore new paths. It's the energy of the pioneer and visionary. In Kabbalah, 1 is linked to Keter, the crown, the highest point where what's seen and unseen come together. Alchemists symbolized it with the sun, the active, masculine energy that starts all transformation. People with a strong 1 in their number profile tend to be natural leaders, but might struggle with being too self-centered. Their challenge is to use their powerful individuality to serve the greater good, becoming channels for universal will instead of getting stuck in ego-driven desires. Number 2 stands for duality and balance. The first split, the cosmic mirror where oneness sees itself. 2 is about being open, working together, diplomacy and intuition. While number 1 acts, number 2 listens. While 1 decides, 2 brings harmony. In Taoism, this shows up as yin and yang, the 2 opposite but connected forces that create everything in the universe. The ancient Egyptians pictured this as the twin gods Isis and Osiris, symbolizing the creative dance between feminine and masculine energy. People with a strong 2 energy tend to be natural peacemakers and good at bringing people together. They're intuitive and see connections others might miss. Their challenge is to stay grounded while helping others, without depending too much on others for their own balance. Number 3 is about creative energy, the new thing that comes from the interaction of 1 and 2. It's the first full expression. The idea plus its reflection makes something new. 3. That's why many spiritual traditions have trinities that represent the creative process. 3 is linked to self-expression, communication, joy, and the power to make things happen. The Pythagoreans saw it as the first real number because you need 3 points to create a shape, the triangle. In Hermetic teachings, 3 represents growth cycles. You see it in the phases of the moon, the 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and time itself, past, present, future. People influenced by 3 are naturally creative, social, and great at sharing ideas. Their challenge is to focus that energy so they complete projects instead of spreading themselves too thin. Number 4 stands for stability, order, and the physical world. It's the perfect square, the 4 directions, the 4 seasons, and the 4 classical elements. 4 grounds us in reality and gives things shape. For the Pythagoreans, 4 was linked to the tetractys, a sacred symbol of perfect creation. Alchemists connected it to earth, water, air, and fire, the building blocks of everything physical. 4 reminds us that matter and spirit aren't separate. The body is the temple for the divine. People with strong 4 energy tend to be practical, organized, and dependable. They build solid foundations. Their challenge is to stay flexible and not get stuck just focusing on rules and structure. Number 5 stands for freedom, change, adaptability, and experiencing life through the senses. It's the middle point between 1 and 9, a pivot linking lower and higher numbers, so it's all about transformation. The 5 points of the star represent our 5 senses. Number 5 also symbolizes the human body, like Leonardo da Vinci showed in his Vitruvian Man drawing, which connects the material and spiritual through the golden ratio. People with strong 5 energy are flexible, curious, and love variety. They learn best by doing rather than theory. Their challenge is to find stability while chasing new experiences. Number 6 is about harmony, balance, responsibility, and love. It's shaped like a hexagon, the strong, efficient shape found in honeycombs. 6 shows how true beauty comes from perfect balance. Ancient cultures linked 6 to Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, representing the blend of opposites working together perfectly. It's the heart's symbol, the energy center of the body. Geometrically, 6 appears in the hexagram, the 6-pointed star, which holds a secret key to creation. 2 overlapping triangles representing as above, so below. This shape echoes patterns in atoms and galaxies. People with a strong 6 are natural caregivers, healers, and peacemakers who take responsibility gracefully. Their challenge is to love themselves as much as they love others and avoid giving too much. Number 7 represents perfection, spirituality, deep wisdom, and connection to higher realms. It's a sacred number across cultures, from the 7 days of creation to the 7 chakras and musical notes. 7 marks where consciousness goes beyond the physical world into deeper dimensions. It's the number of seekers, sages, and those who explore mysteries. That's why it appears so often in spiritual texts everywhere. What most don't realize is that 7's energy acts like a doorway between worlds. When we tap into it, we can access higher states of awareness beyond normal space and time. People influenced by 7 tend to have rich inner lives and a strong spiritual connection. They're thoughtful, analytical, and often feel a bit apart from the everyday world. Their challenge is to bring their deep wisdom into practical daily living. Number 8 stands for power, abundance, mastery, and renewal. It looks like a vertical infinity symbol, representing the perfect flow of energy between the material and spiritual worlds, between giving and receiving, effort and reward. In the Pythagorean tradition, 8 was linked to cosmic justice, the law of karma, not as a punishment or reward, but as a balance of cause and effect, making sure every energy returns to its source, multiplied. What you won't find in textbooks is that 8 holds the secret to lasting growth. While 4 builds structures, 8 helps them grow and thrive naturally. It's no accident that the DNA double helix constantly forms shapes, like the number 8. People with strong 8 energy tend to be great at creating abundance and leading with authority. Their challenge is to use their power wisely, understanding that true abundance needs to keep flowing to stay alive. Number 9 represents completion, wholeness, compassion, and enlightenment. It's the last single digit and holds the essence of all the numbers before it. Mathematically, it's fascinating. Multiply any number by 9, and the digits always add up to 9. 9 is where a cycle ends and a new one begins on a higher level. Think about human pregnancy. 9 months for new life to form before birth. In Hindu tradition, there are 9 forms of the goddess Shakti, showing 9 aspects of divine feminine power. Christian mysticism talks about 9 choirs of angels. Norse mythology has 9 worlds connected by the world tree, Yggdrasil. What makes 9 extra special is its ability to reveal hidden patterns. When you study its math properties, you find amazing symmetries like palindromes in its multiples. This isn't just a neat trick, it's a glimpse into how numbers shape the universe itself. People influenced by 9 often feel deeply connected to all humanity. They're idealists and humanitarians who sense the unity of all things. Their challenge is to stay grounded while pursuing their highest goals. Beyond the basic numbers 1 through 9, there are master numbers like 11, 22, 33, 44, and so on. These don't reduce to a single digit because they carry higher energies with powerful potential. 11 is linked to heightened intuition, spiritual insight, and inspiration. People with this number often act as bridges between worlds. 22 is the master builder who can bring big visions into reality. 33 is the spiritual teacher who lifts collective consciousness through compassion. One of the most mysterious numbers is 108, honored in Eastern traditions for thousands of years. Buddhist prayer beads and Hindu malas have 108 beads. The sun's diameter is about 108 times Earth's, and the distance from Earth to sun is about 108 times the sun's diameter. Coincidence? Probably not. The number 108 holds a cosmic proportion that connects human consciousness with universal rhythms. We come back to the idea of completion. Modern science is just starting to understand what ancient traditions have known for ages. Numbers don't just describe reality, they create it. The universe isn't just full of math, it is math at its deepest level. Numbers aren't just human ideas put onto reality, they are the basic code behind the cosmic system. Here's the big discovery. When we truly understand a number's meaning, feel its energy, and consciously tune into it, we unlock its power to transform us. Numbers aren't just symbols, they're doors to other dimensions, keys that unlock parts of reality. In the next chapter, you'll learn how to calculate your full personal number code and use it to activate your hidden potential. You'll see that your birthday isn't random. It's a unique energy signature tied to your life's purpose. But before we go on, try this simple exercise. Think about which number from 1 to 9 feels strongest for you right now. Don't overthink it, just trust your gut. That number is reaching out to you for a reason. It's waking up a certain energy inside you, getting you ready for your next step in growth. These primal numbers are alive and aware, and they've been waiting patiently for you to recognize them as what they really are, your oldest friends on the path to discovering your true divine nature. Chapter 3. Your Personal Code. What you're about to learn isn't just information. It's a discovery about who you really are, your true purpose in life. Every person carries a special numerical code inside them, like a unique vibration, as personal as your fingerprints, but even more meaningful. This code wasn't randomly given to you. It's a carefully designed pattern that matches your spiritual self. Understanding this code is the first step to taking control of your own destiny. The exact time you were born wasn't by chance. You arrived at a moment when the universe's numbers lined up perfectly with your purpose. Your birthday is basically the first message the universe sent you, written in the secret language of numbers. Ancient Egyptian priests knew this well. For them, the moment of birth was sacred because it revealed the true name of a person, a vibration that showed their real essence. This wasn't just a name, but a specific numeric formula that represented the person's unique energy. Let's start simple. Your destiny number, also called your life number. This number shows your main purpose and the core energy of your life. To find it, add all the digits in your birth date until you get a single number. For example, if you were born on August 15th, 1982, add 1 plus 5 plus 8 plus 2, 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 2 to get 34, then add 3 plus 4 to get 7. So your destiny number would be 7. But that's just the beginning. Most people don't realize you actually have 5 main numbers. that work together to create your full vibrational profile. These are destiny number, life number, expression number, soul number, personality number, maturity number. The expression number comes from the letters in your full birth name. Each letter has a number value based on old systems like Hebrew gematria or Pythagorean numerology. This number reveals your natural talents, your gifts, and how you express yourself to the world. In many ancient cultures, a child's name wasn't picked randomly by the parents. Priests or wise elders would observe the newborn and give a name with numbers that matched the baby's energy. The name didn't create the destiny, it recognized the destiny already inside the soul. The soul number comes from the vowels in your name. It shows your deepest desires and what truly motivates your heart. It's like your inner compass, often working beneath your awareness. The personality number comes from the consonants in your name. It represents the side of you that you show to others first, how people see you when they meet you. The maturity number is the sum of your destiny number and expression number. It shows how you grow and develop over your life, representing the full potential you reach in your later years. Together, these 5 numbers make up your personal numerology profile, a unique energy blueprint. Here's the really interesting part. These numbers aren't set in stone. They're energy frequencies that you can learn to work with consciously. Some ancient teachings say that while you can't change your basic code, you can play with these frequencies like a musician. You don't change the notes, but you can change how you interpret them, playing louder, softer, faster, or slower. How do you do this? There are a few powerful methods passed down through secret traditions for thousands of years. Here are 3 of the best. 1. Deliberate synchronization. Plan important activities on dates or times that match the numbers you want to boost. For example, if your destiny number is 7 and you want to strengthen its thoughtful, intuitive energy, schedule key things on the 7th, 16th, or 25th of the month, or at 7 o'clock. Doing this repeatedly builds up the energy tied to that number. That's why many spiritual traditions have you repeat prayers or mantras exactly 108 times, because 1 plus 0 plus 8 equals 9, which means completion. Repeating something 108 times creates a full energetic cycle. 2. Numerical visualization. Ancient Pythagorean schools taught their students to meditate on numbers as living energies, not just symbols. In a calm state, imagine the number you want to work with. Picture its color, feel its vibration throughout your body, and let it show you its wisdom. Some ancient masters used puzzling questions like, what is the sound of a single number? Not to get a logical answer, but to jump your awareness to a new level and feel the number's true energy. 3. Reprogramming your personal numerical field. Used by ancient Egyptian priests and preserved in some secret schools, this method helps you change negative patterns tied to certain numbers in your life. It has 3 steps. Find the limiting number pattern, clear its negative energy through visualization, and rewrite that number with a positive meaning connected to your higher purpose. For example, if losses or separations in your life happen around dates that add up to 5, you would visualize the number 5 surrounded by cleansing light. Let go of negative feelings, and then give the number 5 a new meaning of positive growth and freedom in your life. A crucial warning: these methods aren't just games. Numbers are gateways to real power. If you start working with these energy frequencies without proper preparation, it can throw your energy off balance. That's why it's so important to approach this with respect, honesty, and clear alignment with your higher purpose. The ancient teachers understood this well. They only shared advanced numerology after years of ethical and spiritual training, not to keep power for themselves, but because they knew how serious the responsibility is. Now, here's something amazing about your personal number code. It goes beyond just this lifetime. The Pythagoreans taught that the soul actually picks its birth moment based on the lessons it needs and experiences it wants to have. Your current number code connects to your past and future lives in a huge cosmic pattern that spans time and space. This explains why some numbers just feel right to you for no clear reason. It's like a soul memory, a numerical déjà vu from other times or lives. When you start working consciously with your numbers, you'll notice something cool. Meaningful numbers will start showing up everywhere. They weren't missing before. Your awareness just wasn't tuned to see them. You've started speaking the universe's language, and it's responding. Carl Jung, who came up with the term synchronicity, was really interested in numerology. His private journals show he did a lot of experiments with number patterns, though he kept this quiet because people were skeptical back then. For Jung, numbers were basic symbols of the collective unconscious, the deepest parts of our shared mind. Another part of your personal number code that isn't talked about much is your personal year. Every year vibrates with its own energy, calculated by adding your birthday and month to the current year, then reducing to a single number. This repeats every 9 years, with each year bringing different lessons and chances. For example, if you were born on August 15th, your personal year for 2023 would be calculated like this: 1 plus 5 plus 0 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 21, then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So 2023 would be your personal year 3, a time for creativity, expression, and communication. Knowing where you are in this 9-year cycle helps you work with the energy instead of fighting it. It's not fate, it's smart timing with the universe's flow. But maybe the most powerful part of your number code is what the old Hermetic texts call your power number. This isn't one of the 5 main numbers we talked about earlier. It's a special frequency that turns on at big turning points in your life. Most of the time, it's quiet, but when it activates, it sparks deep change. To find your power number, think about your biggest life changes. Look at the dates they happened and spot which number keeps popping up. That's probably your power number. Once you know it, you can call on it whenever you need a major shift. To do this, focus on the number, feel its energy inside you, and clearly say to yourself that you want to unlock its power to help you grow. Siberian shamans used this method too. They called it the numerical leap. It helped them change tough situations that seemed impossible. It wasn't magic, it was skillful use of number energies. Here's an advanced technique not often shared: name recalibration. Your name has a number value that shapes how you express yourself. Changing your name changes that energy. That's why in many traditions, new initiates were given new names. It wasn't just symbolic, it was an exact shift in vibration. When you choose a new name consciously, you reprogram part of your energy. Many artists and public figures get this instinctively. They pick stage names that match the energy they want to project. You don't have to legally change your name to do this. You can use a power name for spiritual or creative work. The key is to be clear and consistent with your choice. The coolest thing about all this is that you're not just cracking a code, you're remembering a language your soul has always known. Numbers aren't made-up ideas. They're the original alphabet of the universe, the building blocks of everything. In the next chapter, we'll dive into numerical synchronicities, those moments when numbers seem to send you messages. You'll learn to spot, understand, and even talk back to these cosmic signals. But before we move on, try this simple exercise. Calculate your destiny number using your full birth date. As I showed before, feel it, picture it, and start building a connection with it. Numbers aren't just symbols. They're living energies waiting for you to notice. And when you do, they say, your personal code has always been here, quietly shaping your life. The difference now is you're listening, and that changes everything. Chapter 4. Numerical Synchronicities. Have you ever noticed the clock showing exactly 11:11, or how certain numbers seem to pop up over and over in your life, like they're trying to tell you something? You're not the only one. These aren't just coincidences. They're numerical synchronicities, a mysterious phenomenon as old as time itself that breaks through our everyday reality. In this chapter, you'll learn why these number patterns are never random. I'll explain how these signs are actually secret messages from the universe meant just for you. Most importantly, you'll find out how to understand them. Picture this. You're driving and stressing over an important choice. Suddenly, the car in front of you has the license plate 55. Later, your coffee purchase comes to $5.55. That night, you wake up and the clock reads 5:55. What many would call coincidence is really the universe trying to speak to you through numbers. Ancient Egyptian priests called these number sequences the whispers of Thoth, after the god of wisdom who shared hidden truths through number patterns. Each repeating number you see carries a specific energy, a coded message waiting for you to decode. 111 or 1111, a door is opening. Your thoughts come true fast, so watch your mind carefully. 222, what you've started is growing. Be patient, you're on the right track. 333, spiritual guides are close, supporting you. Your creativity is strong now. 444, you're protected by angels. Don't be afraid to move forward. 555, big change is coming. This transformation is necessary for your growth. Think about which number shows up most for you. Remember, the universe whispers, it doesn't shout. The next time you spot a repeating number pattern, stop and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what was I thinking about right then? That might be the message the universe wants you to hear. What I'm about to share has been kept hidden from mainstream history, but the proof is there if you know where to look. In 1938, physicist Wolfgang Pauli, one of the founders of quantum physics, noticed something strange. The number 137 kept showing up everywhere in his life. In physics, 137 is called the fine structure constant and relates to how electricity and magnetism interact. Pauli talked to psychologist Carl Jung about these number coincidences, which helped Jung come up with his idea of synchronicity. Few people know that in Pauli's sealed journals, opened 50 years after his death, he wrote how every major discovery he made was preceded by intense sightings of 137. Even more eerie, Pauli died in room 137 of a hospital in Zurich. The number that followed him all his life marked his final moment too. Nikola Tesla, the brilliant but often misunderstood inventor, had a similar fascination with the number 3. He did everything in threes, walking around a building 3 times before entering, staying in hotel rooms with numbers that add up to 3, and saying his best ideas came in sets of 3. Tesla once said, "If you only knew the greatness of numbers 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe." More recently, Steve Jobs experienced moments of numerical synchronicity before every big Apple breakthrough. Private notes shared only with close friends show he noticed the sequence 147 appearing over and over before major tech innovations. Coincidence? Not if you understand the secret language of numbers. There's a clear pattern. Numerical synchronicities get stronger during big personal changes. This isn't by accident. Ancient Sumerian mystics believed that during times of transformation, the barriers between different dimensions get thinner, letting number codes flow more easily into our world. Here's something many expert numerologists don't openly share. These times create what I call synchronicity nodes, moments when you're extra tuned in to receive numerical messages. Think about your own life. Was there a time of big change, like switching careers, ending a relationship, or a spiritual awakening? Was that when you noticed the most number coincidences? This happens because during those moments, your energy rises above the usual level, letting you pick up messages that normally go unnoticed. There's an old method to boost this experience that few people know about. Keep a synchronicity journal. Don't just write down the repeating numbers you see. Also note your exact feelings, what you were thinking, the moon phase. Yes, that matters more than science admits. And the exact time. After about 40 days, a number with deep meaning in many spiritual traditions, patterns will start to show up. Hidden links will emerge, and most importantly, you'll begin to recognize your own personal number signature, the unique way the universe speaks to you. Before we finish this chapter, try a simple experiment that has changed thousands of my students' lives. For the next 7 days, each morning when you wake up, set a clear intention to notice a specific number or number pattern that feels important to you. During the day, keep an open awareness, not actively searching but ready to see it. When that number shows up, and it will, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, what message do I need right now? Then write down any feelings, thoughts, or ideas that come to you. What you discover through this simple exercise will challenge what you think about luck and coincidence. You're taking your first steps to understand that you live in a conscious universe that's always trying to talk to you through the most precise language, numbers. Once you master this cosmic communication, you'll be ready for the next chapter where we'll explore something even deeper, how these number codes shape reality itself, and how you can use that knowledge to change your life. Numerical synchronicities are more than just fun coincidences. They're the building blocks of a cosmic conversation between your conscious mind and the deepest parts of reality. The next time a number keeps showing up for you, remember, it's not chance. It's an invitation to connect more deeply with the universe. Chapter 5. The Numerical Matrix. You've reached an important point in your journey through the hidden world of numbers. The earlier chapters have prepared you for this next big truth. One so powerful it's been kept secret for thousands of years, shared only among a few who study ancient wisdom. Here's the truth. Numbers don't just describe reality, they actually create it. What we see as solid matter and the physical world is really a complex web of numbers vibrating at different frequencies. The ancient Pythagoreans said it best. Everything is number. This wasn't just a poetic way of speaking, it was a real statement about how the universe works. Imagine if you could see beyond your 5 senses and witness the world as it really is, a vast ocean of energy moving in perfect mathematical patterns. Every object, every thought, every moment carries its own unique number signature. This is something modern quantum physics is only starting to understand, but mystics have known it since ancient times. Deep inside Egypt's secret temples, far from the tourist sites, high priests worked with what they called the codes of Thoth. These were number sequences that, when spoken or chanted at exact frequencies, could actually change physical reality. Most records of these practices were destroyed or hidden after Egypt's decline, but bits of this knowledge survived through secret teachings. In the 1900s, a Hungarian mathematician named János Nemeth rediscovered some of this ancient wisdom. After years of studying number patterns in mystical traditions, he noticed they matched some equations in quantum physics. Just before publishing his biggest work in 1972, Nemeth mysteriously vanished, and his manuscripts were lost. But 3 of his students continued his research in secret. What Nemeth found is now called the primordial matrix, a set of number sequences that act like the DNA of reality itself. This matrix isn't fixed, it moves, breathes, and changes. Even more amazing, it reacts to human consciousness. Here's why this matters. When you realize reality is basically math, you understand it can be reshaped by consciously working with number codes. This isn't magic or superstition, it's advanced consciousness technology. Think about Tibetan monks who can raise their body temperature at will, or yogis who control automatic body functions. They're essentially reprogramming their bodies through vibrational sequences tied to specific numbers. Have you noticed how certain number patterns show up in nature? The golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 13, and others aren't just math curiosities, they're signs of the codes shaping our reality. What scientists call physical constants like the speed of light or gravitational force are actually points in this primordial matrix. Interestingly, these constants aren't as constant as we think. Advanced physics experiments have recorded tiny changes that happen during major global events. Big celebrations, disasters, or moments when people come together worldwide. This suggests something incredible. Human collective consciousness is constantly interacting with the matrix. We're not just watching this number-based universe unfold, we actively take part in its evolution. Now, I want to share a technique I've never told anyone before. It's called personal matrix recalibration, and it helps you align your own number energy with parts of the primordial matrix. It starts with finding your core sequence, a special number code that represents your energy. This comes from your birth date, full name, and important life events. To keep it simple, here's a quick way to find your core number. Add the digits of your birth date until you get one number. For example, if you were born on May 17, 1985, add 1 plus 7 plus 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 equals 36. Then 3 plus 6 equals 9. This single number is your starting point. Once you know your number, watch how it shows up around you, in times on the clock, in amounts, addresses, and more. Each time it appears, it's a point where your personal code connects with the bigger matrix. At these moments, your power to change your reality grows stronger. It's the perfect time to clearly state what changes you want to bring into your life. The full method takes practice, but even using this simple approach can lead to amazing results. Ancient records talk about spontaneous healings, quick materializations, and big jumps in awareness, all connected to similar techniques. Most people don't realize that the numerical matrix shapes not just the physical world, but also our thoughts and feelings. Every emotion has a vibration that corresponds to numbers. For example, depression links to low-frequency number ranges, while joy and excitement match high-vibration sequences. The ancient Kabbalists knew this when they created gematria, a system giving numbers to letters and words. It wasn't just a word game, but a map connecting feelings and thoughts to the primordial matrix. For instance, the Hebrew phrase, "God is love," adds up to the same number sequence that matches the frequency of light in a certain range. Skeptics might call that a coincidence, but we see it as a cosmic wink, showing how everything is connected. There's one part of the primordial matrix that's especially fascinating, what some old texts call the Creator's signature. It's a number sequence found at the heart of all life, from tiny bacteria to complex humans. This code shows up even when you account for all known changes from evolution. It's like a cosmic digital fingerprint deliberately placed in life's design. Scientists who discover this sequence often spend months in their labs amazed, and many turn towards spiritual ideas. It makes sense. When you really think about the universe's mathematical beauty, science and spirituality start to blend together. We're stepping into a time when this ancient understanding of numbers is coming back. It's no accident that today's most advanced technologies, like quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and cryptography, are based on math principles that connect deeply with age-old secret teachings. It's like humanity is remembering knowledge it once had. As this chapter wraps up, I want you to think about something mind-blowing. What if you started seeing numbers not as lifeless symbols, but as conscious keys to deeper levels of reality? What if every number you come across is actually a message from the very fabric of the universe? Next time you catch the clock at 1:11 or notice your total at the store is exactly $3.33, or get assigned room 144 at a hotel, stop, take a breath, and realize you've connected with the primordial matrix. In that moment, remember you're not just watching a mechanical universe unfold. You're an active creator in a lively, number-based, deeply aware cosmos. In the next and final chapter, we'll bring everything together into a practical system you can use every day. I'll show you how to use number codes to make better decisions, align your actions with the universe's rhythms, and bring your biggest intentions into reality more easily. The numerical matrix has always been here, pulsing and evolving. The only difference is now you see it, and that awareness changes everything. You've reached the end of this journey through the secret language of numbers, but really, it's just the start of your awakening. Like any powerful knowledge, what you've learned isn't valuable on its own. It's about how it changes how you see and connect with the world around you. Think back to how you used to think about numbers, probably just tools for counting or math problems. Now you know they're much more. They're the language of the cosmos, the building blocks of reality, and bridges connecting different dimensions of existence. Let me share a story I've never told publicly before. 25 years ago, I was at a turning point in my life. Poor choices had left me confused and hopeless. One night, exhausted from searching for answers, I had an incredibly vivid dream. In it, an old man with a white beard didn't speak words but communicated through glowing numbers floating between us. When I woke up, those numbers stayed clear in my mind. Feeling a strong intuition, I started writing down every number I noticed in daily life. For 40 days straight, I kept this careful record. At the end, an amazing pattern appeared. The numbers formed a code, an exact formula that, when I used it consciously, completely changed how I experienced reality. Problems that once seemed impossible started to resolve easily. Opportunities showed up right when I needed them. Most importantly, my sense of time changed. I no longer felt pushed along a straight path, but as if I was navigating a vast ocean of possibilities. This experience pushed me to spend the next decade studying the number codes you've explored in this audiobook. What I found is that my story isn't unique. Through history, people from all cultures and times have discovered pieces of this number wisdom. Often after personal crises, these number awakenings might be initiations, moments when human awareness rises enough to directly sense the universe's mathematical design. Ancient records speak of a prophecy that fits perfectly with our time. It says humanity will go through a collective number awakening, a period when the barriers between dimensions get thin enough that even people without special training start noticing the hidden number patterns in reality. Isn't it interesting that right now, more and more people report seeing repeating numbers, number synchronicities, and important math patterns? What was once the secret knowledge of mystics is now entering common awareness. Some experts think this awakening is connected to big shifts in the Earth's own vibration. Measurements at energy centers around the planet have shown major changes over the past 30 years. These shifts follow number patterns linked to the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequences. Now, let me share with you the final step that brings everything together. a practical formula you can start using right away to deepen your connection with cosmic codes. This practice is called the integration sequence. It combines ideas from all the previous chapters into an easy but powerful daily routine. Morning centering. When you wake up, take a moment to focus on your breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. This 4-7-8 rhythm isn't random. It matches one of the key sequences in the primordial matrix that helps sync your body's energy with the larger rhythms of the universe. Personal number visualization. Once you feel centered, picture your personal number, the one you calculated earlier, as a glowing symbol in front of you. Imagine with every breath this symbol sinking deeper into your energy field. Intention setting. Say your intention for the day, using exactly as many words as your personal number. So if your number is 7, your intention should have 7 words. Perceptive awareness. Throughout the day, keep an eye out for number patterns in your life. Each time you notice a meaningful number synchronicity, acknowledge it with a simple word or gesture. This helps build a positive connection with the numerical matrix. Evening reflection. Before you go to sleep, write down the key number synchronicities you experienced during the day. Over time, you'll start to see patterns that reveal your unique conversation with the universe's numerical language. What's amazing about this practice is how it builds over time. What starts as a conscious exercise will become your natural way of experiencing the world. Soon, noticing and responding to number codes will feel as normal as breathing. There's one more thing I need to share, maybe the most important. This numerical awakening isn't just about you as an individual. It's part of a bigger shift in human consciousness. Every person who starts to work with these number codes helps create a shared energy field that supports others in awakening too. Imagine a near future where enough people have tuned into this way of seeing. Problems that once felt impossible could be solved simply by aligning with the universe's natural patterns. This knowledge has always been around for those who knew where to find it. The secret temples of Egypt, the Kabbalah, the Vedic texts of India, the teachings of Pythagoras, all hold pieces of this system. But never before has it been so widely available. Isn't it interesting that this numerical awakening is happening just as humanity faces huge challenges? The patterns suggest there are no accidents in the cosmic matrix. Maybe this knowledge is appearing now because it's exactly what we need for the next step in our collective growth. Before we finish, here's the final insight I've saved for last, because it's key to understanding everything else. Numerical codes aren't just tools to unlock parts of reality. They are creative tools that let you take part in making new realities. When you fully get how numbers shape the universe, you become a conscious co-creator within it. That's why this knowledge was kept so secret, not because people wanted to hide it, but because it carries huge responsibility. When you change the basic codes of reality, you don't just affect yourself, you send waves through the entire cosmic system. The good news? We're moving into a time when this responsibility can be shared by many. Wisdom spread out among many people is stronger than wisdom held by just a few. The more people wake up to the numerical nature of reality, the more balanced and harmonious our shared energy will become. So, as this audiobook ends, remember, your real journey is just beginning. The numerical codes are now open to you. The door to expanded perception is wide open. Ancient, timeless patterns are waiting for you to recognize them. The next time a number catches your attention, know this: it's not a coincidence. It's an invitation, a secret message from the cosmos, a key to new dimensions of experience that we are only starting to explore together. The secret language of numbers isn't a secret anymore. You're now part of a growing community of number initiates, who, knowingly or not, are helping bring about the next big leap in human consciousness. Welcome to the Numerical Awakening. Welcome home.